My name is Shannon Gilmore. It's so nice to see you guys tonight. Well, tonight I think it's time we did a question and answer. What that is just you guys ask me questions and I'll do my best to answer them, or maybe somebody in the chat room can answer for you. But we're here to help each other, and questions are based on the topics of this video channel. Trauma and narcissism, so please leave my hair out of it. Thank you very much. Anyways, that was my Elvis impression. Didn't do so well, eh? I try. So how you guys doing? Well, so who am I? Hello, Mr. Osgood. How are you doing? So let me introduce myself. My name again is Shannon Gilmore, and you are watching from Ontario, Canada. And who am I? I am a narcissistic survivor just like you. Yep. And I'm going through the pain. I've gone through the pain. I've gone through the trauma, and we're moving up, healing. And yeah, we're applying our healing. I'm applying my healing, and this is what it looks like. Welcome to the family. Welcome to life. Welcome to the channel. Because healing doesn't always look pretty. It's pretty messy. And sometimes you'll see me vulnerable, you'll see me cry, you'll see me, vent. Yeah, I've got my days, I've got those times. We all go through it, and it's okay. But, never give up. Keep going. God's not done with you yet. On this channel, we unpack the ugly by taking it to God, by looking at the psychology and weighing it against the new science of modern day, quantum science. So if that sounds good to you, welcome to the channel. Hello, everyone. Hello, Resistor. Nice to see you. Hello, Mr. Osgood. Nice to see you. So yeah, so today is Monday. Ooh, gotta love those Mondays, eh? Oh, so get comfy, grab your drink of choice. I don't have any tongue twisters or jokes for you guys. Maybe I should come equipped with some, tell you guys some lame jokes, So a moose walks into the bar. And the bartender, no, let me start that again. You guys may even know this punchline, but so a moose walks into a bar. I gotta start that again. I even fluffed it up the second try. People are gonna throw tomatoes at me. So a moose walks into a bar, and he saunters up to the bartender. The bartender leans on the counter and says, "So, why the long face?" Wah, wah, wah. Yeah, pretty lame, eh? Yeah. It was so lame, I got it right on the third try. Yeah, no, a comedian I do not make, but I try. So, how is everybody doing tonight? Oh yeah, I lost somebody. YouTube says I lost somebody. Four likes, but there's only one person in watching. Oh yeah, now there's two. Yeah, that's the way it goes. Still funny. Thanks, but no, I'm not good at jokes. They have to be spontaneous, So, how you guys doing? I'm feeling a little better. Well, I'm feeling a lot better. I'm feeling good. Yesterday was a little bit of a hectic day, and I think I'm still kind of, my mind is not processing anything. My mind is fine. I think it's my body that is still feeling the freaking hiccup of yesterday. I think that's why I've been feeling good, but I've been feeling off, and when we're healing, we got to remember that your body keeps the score. Your body is hypervigilant, looking for, situations that remind itself that you're not safe. So just be mindful of your healing, your progress, what you're going through, the symptoms, and be mindful of your thoughts. That's important. When you're healing, it's important to be mindful of your thoughts. What kind of thoughts are you thinking? Are they toxic? Are they for your benefit, or are they for the narcissist's benefit? Ooh, that's a question. Are your thoughts for your benefit, or are they for the narcissist's benefit? Are your feelings for your benefit or for the narcissist's benefit? Interesting. Those are interesting questions. And it's hard to be mindful of asking ourselves questions like this, especially when we're hyper vigilant, when we're focused, hyper laser beam focused on problems and trying to sort out those problems and trying to fix them. It's hard to breathe, let alone trying to just get calm and think things through rationally. Hello, Sophia. Hi, how are you? Long time no see, girlfriend. How you doing? Good to see you. Hi. How are things? So, how is everyone? I'm okay. How are you? I'm okay. Thanks for asking. Thank you for asking. I'm doing well. And I'm just reading the little tag on my little tea bag here, little tag. And it says, if you truly love nature, you will find beauty everywhere. Vincent van Gogh. That's a good saying. I like that. Hugs to you, girlfriend. Hugs, hugs, hugs. So good. Happy to hear you're doing well. Good. Sorry I can't type and eat frittata. A frittata. Is that it? Frittata. Frittata. Okay. Sounds good, whatever that is. Kind of like a taco. Kind of like a smash between a taco, burrito, chimichanga. I don't know. So, we're just having a kind of a lazy daisy night tonight where we're just asking or answering your questions here on this channel. So, we've got 8 people in here in the channel. So, hi everyone. Nice to see you. Welcome. Oh, here. We got to do this. We got to do this. Can you believe it? Oh, okay, hang on. It will be 2 weeks tomorrow since I saw my sister. And my sister came for a visit for a day and a half. Well, a day and 2 hours. And she left me some bubbles. And I was going to blow the bubbles, but the wand broke. So I have to fish out the wand. But yeah, so a week or 2 weeks ago, tomorrow. And I have to say, I have to give credit to you guys, because normally I would be a basket case. Excuse me. When I saw my 3 kids, I hadn't seen them in 10 years, and I saw them in 2012. And I saw them, for 2 days. I saw them for the weekend. And after seeing them, I was like bawling like for 2 weeks straight. I couldn't keep it together. I was just like everything. Like I go shopping and I'm like, oh, my daughter would love this. Oh, my son would love this. And then I'd be like, oh, bawling. And then I just like, but this time I'm thankful for you guys. This channel has kept me preoccupied, and also the healing that we have done together has helped a lot too. So I just want to say thank you, because yeah, I had my cry when I saw her for the first time in 30 years. I hugged her and I hugged her tight, and I probably choked the poor girl with my shoulder. I was just hugging her and I'm crying and I'm trying not to lose it. And then when it was time to say so long, farewell, I hugged her and I tried not to lose it, but I pretty much did. And I was stifling, like I just shoved my face in her hair and just, you know, and so it's just, it doesn't feel like 2 weeks has gone by already. But it was a blessing. And you know, we didn't get to talk about the past. We just enjoyed the moment, and got to see that she is happy and she's blessed with a happy marriage, and that's all I've ever wanted for her. So I'm thrilled. I'm thrilled for her. I'm so happy. And you know, that's just it. It's just like I was saying to you guys, it's funny how when you're in trauma and you're dreading something, or you're anxious about something, or depressed about something, it just seems to prolong itself, like that anxiety and that depression and that just weight of emotion doesn't go away. It seems to go on forever, and the days just kind of melt into each other. But oh no, something exciting and something happy and pleasurable for you is gone in a freaking instant. Like, how does that happen? How does that happen? Yeah. Thank you, Sophia. Yeah, it was meeting my sister for the first time in 30 years. You know, I noticed this about myself, is I want to talk about the past. I want to talk about, you know, just so that there isn't any anxiety or resentment lingering. And it's like, no, the past is done with. It's just all we have is now. So let's just be grateful for now. And I just went with it. I just like, you know what? It's not just about me, it's about her too. And this is what she wants, and that's fine. I'm okay with that. I'm like, okay, if she's not going to, you know, dredge up the past, what happened between us that caused us to not talk for 30 years. I mean, there were things on my part that I thought were the reason, and we kind of talked about it, but you know, I think she, you know what, we're getting older, and you know that we've both have kids, and you know, been through the relationships, and she's married, and I'm thankful she's happily married, and they have a child, and you know, like, enough time has gone by. It's just, let's move forward. And I agree. Like, so yeah. Hey, 3+6. You're still talking about this? I saw you like a month ago. Let's see if you're here talking about this next month. Wow. Wow. Pretty, what's the matter? What's going on, 3+6? You can't add because you didn't finish your equation there in your name. So do you need help with that? Are you doing okay? How you doing? So, well, gee, I don't know what to say. Like, I can't, 3 plus 6, I can't give you the answer. I mean, that would be cheating, wouldn't it? So. Thanks, Sophia. Yeah, no, I'm just filling people in 3 plus 6. You're welcome to stay, and if not, you know what? My mommy always told me if I didn't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. So shh, zip it, zip it, zip it. Keep it quiet. So. So, what are your plans for this summer? Can't believe it's summer's halfway through already. What the heck? Really? Gone through heat waves. I think we've gone through, we've had 2 heat waves in the past month. What about you guys? Flooding, heat waves, storms, like what's going on with this world? I don't know. This world is, I think the more narcissism gets, exposed. I don't know. Do you guys think anything about this? Because people say that, we know that what you think about, you bring about. So with narcissism, they're thinking about chaos and crazy making. Is this negativity affecting our planet in some way? Like I know about geoengineering, but is there actually something going on with the thoughts of the narcissist? Where do they go? Where do they go? If we, by our thoughts, what we think about, we bring about. Our thoughts go and gather energy and go out into this big wide world, what Nikola Tesla called ether, and become inspiration for somebody else, and they eventually come back to us. Where do the narcissist's thoughts go? Do they latch onto us when we are depressed, when we are anxious? But what about when we're not anxious? What about when we're not depressed? Do they go to other people, or do they really affect nature in some way? I don't know. Maybe nothing. Maybe a nonsensical question, but it's a question nevertheless. And for those of you who are science driven, you're the brainiacs, maybe you've got answers. I don't know. So it's all in the Bible, dears. How the sun will get hotter, crazy weather, etc. Hi, Ed. How you doing? Nice to see you. Aw. Thanks. Monk mode, says Resistor. Yeah. I'm going to chill, relax, and mind my own business. So that's your summer plan, huh? That's your summer plan. I like it. I like it. Cheers, everyone. I love that plan. I wish I could. Got roped into crazy making yesterday. Ooh-wee. Can I ask you guys a question? I'm dying to tell you guys what happened yesterday, but I can't breach people's confidence. But I want to ask you guys a question. Have you guys ever been able to break a rake? Have you guys ever been able to break a rake? Or not break it? Okay. Have you guys ever been able to, or have you ever seen anybody bend a metal rake? Not an aluminum rake, a metal rake that's thick steel. Just a question. Just a question. I watch this realm and everything lately is completely out of whack. Exactly. Exactly. If it's old, rotted, then yes. Oh, okay. Thinking the wooden handle. Okay. Okay. This rake, I've got it. I've got it in my shed. I could go get it. Maybe I'll show it to you guys tomorrow. I took a picture of it. It's like somebody took their hands and went like this and bent the metal downwards. The rake is bent like this, and I've only used it maybe about 5 times. It's brand new. It's like was bought maybe 4 months ago, and it was practically brand new, not rusted. You know, it was used to dig in the dirt and move rocks around and stuff, but oh my gosh. And it just reminded me of a story of, I knew somebody who was, okay, this was about 7 years ago now. I met him on Facebook. I don't go much on Facebook anymore. I don't. I made the mistake of divulging some stuff on Facebook, and yeah, you attract the crazy people when you do that. But I attracted somebody who said they were Christian. We got along really well and we became friends, and it turned out that they were homeless. So my bleeding heart went out to them and thought, okay, well, everything's okay. They're fine. They're okay. They're just hit a bad fork in the road, they just had a bad patch in their life, and they need a friend right now, and everything was fine until it wasn't. Till I had to get the police involved. This person was stalking me online, telling people that online that he was Jesus Christ, threatening to commit arson on specific people and denominations in a specific denomination. He was in the public eye as he was known for stalking Christian pastors. And so, long story short, lost contact with him. He moved on to somebody else, and it turns out that this somebody else that he found was possibly threatened by a pew with him, held hostage. And so they took him to a psych ward, and he actually was able to get through the metal doors, the locked metal doors. And there was a news article about him. And the nurse that was interviewed said she is scared of him. And all I could think of was demons. Some of the stories before I knew he was crazy, some of the stories that he would tell me and the way he would word it, it sounded like, he was anointed and blessed by God. And then all of a sudden he came out and said, I'm Jesus Christ. I'm like, no, you're not. And he said, oh yeah, and you will do as I say. And I'm like, well, that's not what Jesus says. Jesus doesn't boss us around and tell us what to do. And I own you, and yeah, you're my child. You do what I say. I'm like, no, this conversation's over. It got really weird really quickly. And so I learned my lesson. It was a hard lesson to learn. But yeah, so the story about reading the story online on as a news article of how this guy tried to kick in the door of, he was sitting in the back seat of the police vehicle, and he, tried to kick out the door, not kick in, but kick out the door and kick out the windows. And when he went for the psych evaluation, he kicked in the doors and escaped this place. And it was just, the nurse said, we've never had anybody escape thick metal locked doors before, and he was able to get through it. And I was just thinking, demons! And that's exactly what I thought of with this metal rake. Because there's no way that somebody could do that by hand. Something heavy had to either fall on it. So, I just trying to wrap my head around it. Either something fell on the rake, which that could have been possible. But yeah, just really weird. And that's something that we have to be cautious of, that you don't know what you're getting into. You don't know when you're meeting somebody online or in person. You only know as much as you can see and as much as what you experience with them and as much as the person tells you. You can know a person for years and not know them. I mean, look at, some of us have been married to narcissists, and we've been married for a long time, and we still don't know their secrets. You only know what the narcissist wants to tell you. Excuse me. And it's pretty scary. So a lot of nasty people getting away with really bad stuff today. Exactly. There is. That is very true. And yeah, stalkers are pretty bad, I haven't really dissected stalkers to the point of understanding exactly where it comes from, but yeah, it's all demonic. It's demonic behavior, control behavior, but I think it has to do with something, again, perhaps childhood, or maybe just the person is born that way where no one can tell them no. They cannot be not denied. Whatever they want, they get. That can be the issue too. But it can be intimidating. So just, narcissists are a different breed of individual. They're not human. And it's not even that they don't have your best interest at heart. They are dangerous. And they don't care that they're dangerous. They don't care about you. Now that's a hard pill to swallow. That's something very difficult to understand. Even if we've been through this many, many times with a narcissist, we go back to them because we assume that they care. We assume that they've changed. Believe the rage. Believe the lies. And, I have to say, it's not just them gaslighting us, we are gaslighting ourselves, and we have to learn to get out of our own way, to see the truth, not how we want to see it. I gotta tell you, in grade 11, my art teacher always used to say, draw what you see, not what you think you see. And that, my dear, is a lesson for life. Thank you, Mrs. Koenig, because that is a lesson that we can take in life. Don't assume. Don't think you see from the narcissist what you want to see. Get out of your own way to see the truth of what is really there. Somebody who loves you, they won't cheat. There are many, 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 many relationships out there that are thriving because the man or the woman will not get themselves into opportunities where they could be tempted to cheat. And so not every person is a cheater. Not every man's a liar. Not every woman's a man-eater. It's been our experience, but once you start getting out of your own way and seeing the truth for what it is, you will see that there's good people and loving people just like you out there. You just have to be willing to see them and willing to give them the benefit of the doubt that you gave the narcissist. Hey, Jessica, nice to see you. How are you? Resistor says they literally teach you to gaslight yourself, which is dangerous. Absolutely, well said. Exactly. Yep, they do. My narc neighbors were our stalkers. Glad I moved away, says Mr. Osgood. Wow. Yeah, it's pretty scary being stalked online and offline. Yeah, I've been stalked a few times, and you know, getting the police involved is very difficult because it's not that they don't take you seriously, it's just that the stalkers, everybody has rights. Everybody has rights. And okay, fine. But we don't ask to be stalked. We don't ask to have attention. Like, we just want to be left alone, and everybody should have that right, but there's something missing, something's gone in a narcissist, in the stalker's mind. And not all narcissists are stalkers, but yeah, there's a potential. They I'm gonna say this. Every stalker is a stalker, but not every, okay, excuse me. Every narcissist is a stalker, but not every narcissist has experienced stalking, but there's the potential there. Just given the right circumstance, the narcissist will stalk you. So I've been all over this world. You're not hiding from narc-tard stalkers. The demon always finds you. Yeah, exactly. The more you want to be left alone, the more they come at you. Weird, huh? Yeah, exactly. Because our fear is acknowledgement. Our fear is acknowledgement. And when you don't give the narcissist any acknowledgement, when you just go gray rock and ignore them, they can't get to you. So you're no fun. You're not thrilling. They're not harvesting your emotional negativity. So same demon, different meat suit. Exactly. You got it. You guys know it. And yeah, when my ex, well, he wasn't my ex at the time. When he found out, when my husband at the time found out that I was being stalked, as I told him, because I had to go to the police, and he was dealing with his own mess that he made, that he didn't, he just abandoned myself and our daughter. He just abandoned us to escape his own, mess that he created for himself. So he didn't care. And that's just like a narcissist. And again, somebody who loves you, who truly loves you, will take care of you in your weakest moments, whether you're ill or you're in some kind of financial need, or whether need some sort of safety. And there's no strings attached. They just reach out and they help you because they love you and they care about you and they want the best for you. They don't give to you because it makes them look good, or because they can leverage your help later when they need it. Oh, you owe me. Remember that time I gave you, let you sleep on my couch for 2 weeks, so now you owe me. Really? Wow. Thanks. No, there are good, kind-hearted people out there who are willing to help because they do care and they love you. And with unconditional love, there's no motive. Love is actually the motive. It feels good to be in love. It feels good to be unconditionally loving. It just feels good to help. Like, what motive, what higher motive is there than that? That it feels good to help. It feels good to help. Like, how do I explain this? It feels good seeing somebody benefit. It feels good seeing somebody lifted up out of their pain. That's what makes love what it is, and that's who you are. You are unconditional love. And that's your motive, and that's the motive of other people that you can attract. If you only allow yourself to give that love to you, just be motivated to feel good. Just because. It feels good to uplift somebody else out of their turmoil, right? It feels really good to see somebody lifted up out of their pain. That's unconditional love. Love has no motive. So you turn that around and use that to yourself. It feels good to lift yourself up out of your pain. How? By feeling good. By turning to Jesus, by gaining strength from him, by leaning on people who can help you, by finding inspiration in this life, by doing good things for other people with the pure motive of helping them out, by seeing them happy because they're uplifted out of their pain, whether it's temporarily or long term. That in itself brings you joy. And there still are people out there like that, because you and I, we all are family, and we're exactly like that. And now that we can see that in us, we can see that is missing in the narcissist. We can see through those motives. We can see through that superficial charm. We can see through that gaslighting, that fakery, because you'll hear it in their tone. You'll see it in their eyes. Oh, I'm convinced you can pretty much tell a narcissist from the look on their face. It's in the eyes. You know, the Sanpaku eyes, where their eyes go wide. And it's just that vacant stare. And it feels like they're looking through you to the back of your head, trying to see your thoughts. They don't look into your soul. They see past your soul and say, no, what thoughts can I manipulate? Move aside, soul. I want to see the thoughts instead. It's creepy. It's creepy. Ooh. They work hard to get you trapped in. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Too true. So, we've learned a lot on this channel, I'd say. You know, last week and this weekend we've talked about the mother wound, we've talked about the father wound. What else did we talk about? We talked about God being a thought, or you being a thought in God's mind. We've talked about so much on this channel. And we're here twice a day, 1 o'clock in the afternoon, 10 o'clock in the evening. So we can't say we're not growing. Oh, we dare not say that. We are growing and learning lots. I know I am. It's amazing the depth of insight that we've gained. And, you know, it still may take some time, but I think with all the information that we've learned so far, either on this channel or other channels that you guys belong to, I think there's enough knowledge that you yourself can spot a narcissist. You probably can smell them. You probably can. If you're in tune to your spirit, you're like, Holy Spirit, sniff those narcissists out and keep them away from me. Yeah. And all you have to do is look into their eyes. And there's a lot of people who are doing marijuana, you know, now that it's legalized. So you'll see it in their eyes, how their eyes are red and, you know, they're wigging out, as we would say back in the day. It's a rare find to find authentic people, but they're out there. So, from a mile away, yeah. Hey Victor, how you doing? And I'm 200 miles away now, and I really don't leave home much. Still self-isolating, focusing on God and healing. Good for you. Good for you. That's awesome. Yeah, I'm in the city and I isolate too. I mean, I want it that way. I go out when I have to, and you know, I like being by myself. I like just getting with nature, talking to God, going sitting beside the water and hearing the creek run, or, you know, sitting out on the porch, listening to the thunder in the distance, watching the sheet lightning come through. You know, I just rather be with God and his people. I don't want to be with the people who just are ruled by the world. You can't. Don't you find you've got nothing in common with these people anymore? Like, it is so superficial. It's like talking about the weather. Hey, how's the weather? How's it over in your neck of the woods? I mean, I really don't get how, well, yeah, I do. I gotta stop, I gotta stop thinking that the narcissist and the people who act like them and are uncomfortable with getting in depth in their conversation, I still think of them as human. And it's natural to say, I don't get how they think like they do. Yeah, we do. Yeah, I do. When I really want to think about it, yeah. It's just old imprinting assumes that they're just like us. And you forget, but you're soon reminded. by the superficial talk that they lead the conversation into. And they really don't care about what you have to talk about. You know? And that's just so unfortunate. But it is what it is. It is what it is. I've tried to apply what I've learned, but I can't remember everything. I'm here unless it's, I hear unless it's repeated. Yeah. The air conditioning is on, and I can smell, like I've got the vent closed, but I can smell from outside. Either there's a skunk outside or it's marijuana, and I think it's a skunk, because it's not marijuana, just kind of hurts, gives me an automatic headache, but there's a skunk outside. I know that smell. I got skunked before. Yeah, that's definitely a skunk. Nice. When I was on the farm, I was walking out to the greenhouse with my dog Muggs, and there was a skunk about 20 feet from us, and he saw it, and he looked up, and I said, "Muggs, don't you dare. Don't you dare." And he went for it, grabbed it, and as he grabbed it, it skunked him and skunked me too. And I'm just like, thanks. And tomato juice and tomato sauce doesn't work. Does not work. I think I used vinegar and I used hydrogen peroxide. So, and I poured it on a brush, and like a baby brush. I poured it on a baby brush and brushed his face with it, because, you know, I didn't want it to get near his eyes. So, you know, I just dabbed some cotton balls and, you know, around his eyebrows and, you know, forehead. Yeah, that's definitely a skunk. Oh my gosh. That's close by. So yeah, if you ever get skunked, you ever get hit by a skunk, like, tomato juice doesn't work. Tomato sauce doesn't work. No, tomatoes doesn't work. I don't know who invented that, but it doesn't work. Vinegar for my doggy, yeah. Oh, rest in peace, you two. Oh, I'm sorry, girl. Yeah. Yeah, the smell doesn't come out very well. Threw my clothes away. Yeah. No, I just threw my clothes away. Just won't be needing that. Nope. Those favorite jeans are gone now. Oh my gosh. I think I even shaved Muggs, because he was a part collie and golden retriever. So his neck hair was very thick. It was like almost mane-like. So I did trim it. I remember that. I trimmed his neck, because he got it in the neck, and I just, like, it was so thick. And he didn't like that very much. You know, he didn't like his haircut. Don't blame him, but, well, dude, maybe this will teach next time. Yeah. Nothing takes it out but time, really. Exactly. Oh, yeah, that would be like a narcissist repellent. I just had a nasty thought. You know, the spray, the poop smell spray, the, you know, fart spray. You know, you watch online on YouTube, you can watch the pranks where people spray that fart spray in the car or in the house or whatever. If there was a smell like that with skunk, and you could just spray that in the air with a narcissist, just spray it behind their back, and they're like, you're walking in public, and they're just being a narc hard as they always are, and being insulting and dismissive and all that. Just spray a few, just right in their area, and see people just like, ugh. It was funny in my head, but I don't know. Sometimes I just like having a little laugh at their expense. Sometimes it makes me feel a little bit better. Not that I would do anything. I wouldn't do that. Revenge is for God. I don't even want to pull pranks on them, because I know if I did, it would come back on me. That's just the way karma is for me. If I do somebody dirty, well, it does come back on me. And yeah. But with the narcissist, yeah, God's got, okay. For those of you who think that it's unfair that the narcissist gets to flourish in their life, that they have good things happen to them, that you're suffering and they're moving on in life, I've had, yesterday I found out some information of somebody that I used to know, and they're not flourishing. They're not flourishing at all. And I'm not going to say what's happening to them, but I was a little shocked, and I was just like, I'm not happy. I never wanted this position for them, but they brought it on themselves. But I know for a fact that narcissists don't flourish for very long. So generally, who is more narcissistic, men or women? I think it's probably about even now with the society as it is, but maybe 15, 20, 30 years ago, it was definitely men. But now that women are in the corporate world, and women are having to, become both the man and the woman, the mom and dad in a single family household, single mothers, and it's our divine masculine and our divine feminine is all mixed up. And so I think we're personally seeing probably both men and women. It's probably, the statistics aren't exact, but I think if we could have a bird's eye view of everything, I think it's probably almost even. There's probably maybe slightly more men that are narcissistic than women, but women are coming up close behind if it's not even now. So that's just my assessment, just because of the world today. I mean, the political dynamic has worsened on both sides, male and female, and it's in Christian communities too, Christian families, Christian, communities, like the churches, it's everywhere. So it's just the world that we live in, and it always has been the world that we live in. But there was an uneven balance. There was more, people who had these values that, fed the family dynamic. But now the family values are, two-parent income households. Kids basically raise themselves or are raised by strangers, and parents work late so they don't get to know their children, and friends raise friends. Your children's friends are basically raising your children, or our children. So, and TV is raising our children. Sesame Street. I did a video on that. And it's a video here on this channel about being raised by Sesame Street, and the Muppets have those googly eyes with no eyelids, or if the eyelids are there, they're still googly eyed. And what does that look like to you? Sampaco eyes. That looks like psychotic eyes. And I've seen kids watching Sesame Street, and they're watching Sesame Street with the open mouth and just staring, just like the puppet on TV. They look exactly like the puppet. And kids' brains are impressionable. When we're little, we identify with things. We watch Superman, we watch Mighty Mouse, we watch Mickey Mouse, Minnie Mouse, and we pretend. I mean, my daughters loved the princesses, Princess Jasmine on Aladdin, now that's Frozen, Anna, Cinderella, Snow White. What kid didn't emulate their superhero? Wonder Woman or Superman or Spider-Man. So it's Muppets are no different. And Sesame Street, Cookie Monster, Oscar the Grouch. Yeah. These puppeteers, whoever came up with the scripts for these puppets, you just watch an episode and you'll see Grover's extremely narcissistic. And it's all in fun. Like, there's a book that I used to read, and it was a Sesame Street book, and it's something about the monster at the end of this book. And Grover is narrating, and he's like, please don't turn the page, and you turn the page. I told you not to turn the page. Please don't turn the page. Please, 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 please. So you turn the page, and then it's like, I told you. And so he's, the picture is that he's hammering boards on the page to prevent you from turning the page. And it's humorous. It's cute. But it's not right. It's not the adult humor that is littered all over kids' movies and Sesame Street teaches our children that gaslighting is okay and flattery is okay, like all these superficial things from the narcissist we learn as kids from these puppet shows. So, do you see any? Hi, William. How you doing? Okay, Okay. Do I see any of Schopenhauer's views of women in narcissistic traits? Okay, that's okay. I gotta look that up. Am I spelling it right? S-H. O-P. I never heard of this person, but we're gonna find out. I just spelt it wrong, but we'll see what we come up with. Okay, there we go. Schopenhauer's On Women by author Schopenhauer. Okay, it is, oh. Okay, we got a whole article here. Something about women's traits or, okay. It's because women's reasoning powers are weaker that they show more sympathy for the unfortunate than men. Well, I don't think it's weaker. That's a chauvinistic viewpoint. Men and women are naturally different, where women, there was a study, I came across this in either YouTube or Instagram actually this morning, about somebody talking, not about Schopenhauer, but about how single mothers and children being raised without a mother, or particularly a father in women, you know, and just being raised by their mothers. It's statistically shown and scientifically proven that kids do thrive on a two-parent household, because the men and women they think differently and act differently, as that's, you know, that's just common sense. But the thing of it is a woman nurtures differently than a man nurtures. A man nurtures based on, you know, his hunting prowess, his means of protecting. Like a man is naturally stronger. His muscles are in his arms and his legs, and he's naturally stronger than a woman. And just because she's naturally physically weaker than a man doesn't mean that she's emotionally weaker. No. God designed men and women. God designed women to be a man's helpmeet. And what helpmeet in Hebrew actually means is a partner. Just like as how police officers have partner, there's two, where two go together. There's, when you're driving in an ambulance, there's two people there, there's backup, and that's exactly what helpmeet means. Like it's a backup where the man doesn't necessarily fail. But he, you know, where his emotional demeanor, or his emotional character, who he is as a man, doesn't meet the needs to fit the needs of his child as a way a woman would. The female steps in to nurture the child as she can. So what this means is that a dad or a male figure, a male father figure, brings to the child a way for the child to build courage and trust in themselves, to take that leap of faith and face that danger, assess that danger, and determine, can I do this or should I not? Am I capable? But just because I'm capable, is this a good idea to do? Whereas women, they bring to the table in the way of nurturing their child is to encourage. Yes, you can do all you can do, but you still have to be aware of your feelings. Just because you're physically capable, you also need to understand, are you emotionally capable? So men and women enhance each other, and that's how they raise their child together, creates this full body characteristic of a child where they have the best of both parents, where that child is set into this world knowing that they can do it, but they don't have to. And the nurturing qualities of the mother steps in and says, well, you're still a wonderful human being, whether you go make something of yourself or you don't. Like, do for you. And that's what parents are to teach their children, to be your best, but don't be your best for other people. Be your best for yourself. Well, if you're a Christian, you know, be your best for God, but be your best for yourself. Be okay with yourself. Know when to protect yourself and know when to nurture yourself. And what's coming to my mind is this study also showed that, okay, Okay, they studied couples who had like a newborn, and when the newborn cried, the mother heard the child cry and she got up in the middle of the night. But the males, they were prone to stay sleeping. They didn't wake up in the middle of the night to tend to the needs of their child. I think it was like something about 85 to 95% of the men stayed asleep and didn't wake up when their child was crying. However, when the man heard leaves rustling in the wind outside the window, he immediately woke up, whereas the woman stayed sleeping. So that tells you that we have a different dynamic, as the man is geared to protect the family and the woman is more geared to meet the needs of her child, her infant child who depends on her. Just because of the connection, it's not anything lesser of men, it's just the connection that the mother has to the child as the child develops in the womb. So there's a natural nurturing there for the child, and there's a natural nurturing for the family's safety with men. So I don't know if that answers the question or not, but I'll look more into this Schopenhauer's, I've got it on my phone, so I'll look more into it and I'll get back to you on that. That's a very good question, so thank you. I've never heard of this person. So you're giving me something to think about. So they learn both perspectives, man and woman, exactly. And see, with kids, when you have two parents who tap into this ideal family dynamic of nurturing and strength training and all of this stuff, just parents teach us how to be human, right? But not only that, our parents taught us how to tap into our divine masculinity and our divine femininity. And, obviously I'm female, so my divine feminine is more masculine. See? Freudian slip. And that's true. Like, I'm probably more on the masculine side than I am on my feminine side, because I'm basically had to raise my Scarlett, my daughter, as a single mom. So I had to be to her both a mom and a dad, and I had to step up. And I noticed, even though she's still an adult, we go out in shopping together and I see somebody looking at her the wrong way or just looking at her in general, I step in and I kind of protect her. I just kind of walk in, or I meet the person's gaze, or I just block the person's view. And I notice when we're walking on the sidewalk, I'm the one that goes on the outside of the sidewalk and protects her from oncoming cars. And it's just the protective nature in me, because I've had to step into my masculinity, because she doesn't have a dad figure in her life to protect her. Well, God, absolutely. But as far as a human being in the form of a daddy figure for her, no, she doesn't have that. So I remember I took her she was 17 or 18. And I was taking her to the movie theater as a surprise to go see The Lion King, the live version. And I recorded it. And I had my phone on, and we're in the car. And she's like, "Where are we going?" And I said, "Oh, we're just going to go out." And she's like, "But where are we going?" And I'm like, "Can't your old man take my daughter out?" Like, I said something like, "Can't your old man," like meaning me, "can't your old man take her daughter out for, a surprise, like a date, a mother-daughter date?" And I went, "What? What?" I go, "I guess that was a Freudian slip. I'm just in my masculine right now. Like, oh my gosh, like I'm just like, what the heck?" But I noticed that about me, and I noticed that about women. When we are single mothers, we come across as being bitches because we're hyper vigilant. We're in that protective mode. We're even protecting ourselves, where our daddy figure would step in. We have to step in as the daddy figure for ourselves. And we have to ask the 20 questions and be the, and show our muscle to a man who could potentially be a threat to us. And it makes us come across as bitchy, but we're not. We're just like, we haven't had the protection of a man. And society has taught men that it's wimpy to cry, it's wimpy to show emotion, it's not manly to give in to a woman, but it is manly for a man to serve a woman. It actually is. And, us women who have been raised up in trauma and traumatized in childhood, we're the people who, you don't need to do it for me. I can do it myself. And the man's like, yeah, I know you can do it yourself, but let me help you. Because a good, honest, loving, kind-hearted, compassionate gentleman wants to help. And when we take that away from them, we take away their purpose. It's not about them peacocking and showing us, oh, I can do this, look at me, I'm so brave. That's the narcissist bullshit antics. But when a man actually shows his masculine side to you, that's to be treasured. That's a beautiful thing. That's to be honored, where, it's like when guys carried our books when we were in school. Can I carry your books? Can I carry your bag? That meant a lot. And it still does. I know it does to me because I'm old school. But, it's like men want to be needed. And if a woman can mow the lawn and change her own tire and change the light bulb and do things and doesn't want help, doesn't need help, then what is the man there for? He doesn't want to be used, but he wants to be needed. Just the same as a woman wants to be needed. A lot of times us women try to get in touch, try to get the man to get in touch with his emotional side, his masculinity and his femininity, because it's not like we're not trying to knock the man down. We're just trying to be needed. We like to nurture. We like to share feelings. And it's nothing belittling. This is how we feel needed. When a man opens up to us and shares with us his feelings, we can show him that we appreciate him and he has value as a man, as a human being. And what he thinks and what he feels does matter. And that's what we're losing in society today. It's being replaced by the phone, technology. So, vibrational frequency alignments are different, absolutely. So, absolutely, resistor. So, I'm just reading your comment, resistor. Lies in plain sight, making it funny instead of serious. I don't know what that was in reference to, but so the demon is not interested in gender. Interesting. I personally think the demon is interested in gender for the fact, and I'm not disagreeing with you, resistor, totally, I'm not. Like, I hear what you're saying, but just giving this some thought, like, I don't think they care about what gender they inhabit, but I definitely think that they care which gender they attack. Like, they can attack both men and women, but ultimately the curse is, I will put enmity between your seed and hers. So it really does, yeah, you're right, it really doesn't matter. But I think going back to the Garden of Eden, the enemy attacked the woman on purpose. He didn't attack Adam, he attacked Eve. And I think there's something there to follow, where there's a deep resentment and a natural hate for women, as men who are narcissists are misogynists, and they have mommy issues. So, yeah, I would think that demons hate women because God made women for men, as Eve was created for Adam. And there's a little hidden detail that we're not shown in scripture, but you'll see it come to light when you look at transgenderism here in the world today. And if you look at the goat god, starts with the B, ends with a T, Baphomet, not going to say his name. His name's not going to cross my lips. But you know, this goat god. You look at the goat god is androgynous. And we talked yesterday about, in our Bible study, about trees, or people being likened to trees. Well, if you look in this world today, there's fruit-bearing trees that provide their own flowers and pollinate. They're self-pollinating trees. Those are the androgynous trees. But then you take an apple tree and you have to place two apples, a male and a female, together side by side. If you just planted one single apple tree, chances are, if you know, you don't know what gender you're getting, and chances are it's either it's a male, which doesn't produce flowers or fruit, or you're going to get a female tree that produces the flowers and the fruit, but with no male tree to pollinate it, cross-pollination, you may get flowers, but you're not going to get any fruit. So you have to have two fruit trees next to each other, apple trees, that is. And so it's my personal assessment that the tree of good and evil was an androgynous tree. And I think this tree of good and evil was also the cherubim, the guardian, the serpent. And he was to guard himself and protect himself from Adam and Eve's curiosity, should they ever get curious. But he forced their hand, he forced their curiosity. It's just my take. But you can see how evil has made itself known through, this sounds so cruel, but gender bending tactics, gender augmentation, and the government changing the laws. And here in Canada, you know, when you have a child, it's against the law to put the baby's gender on the birth certificate right away. Like, who what the heck? No, that's evil, plain and simple. That's you want to talk about some sort of spirit. It's the Baphomet spirit, alive and well, living and true, coming through and attacking our children. So Christ the King, Ecclesiastes talks about the vanity and meaningless of life. It surmises by saying, fear God and keep his commandments. Do you ever feel hopeless in this life and the vanity of life Solomon described? Yeah, good question. Absolutely. Yeah. I think you feel hopeless with all this knowledge that you gain, and if you don't give it back to God, if you don't have God in the details, like look at, okay, scientists, for example, they have all this knowledge in the world, and that knowledge comes from God. But do they give credit back to God? No. So what do they seek? They seek accolades. They seek patents. They seek, scientific journals, and they write their thesis and their whatever to get notoriety. And without that, it's meaningless. And in unpacking my own healing and my own trauma to heal, there's a sense of hopelessness when you just focus on psychology and you don't take it to God. I'm just trying to remember the time that, at the time of COVID, and I faced eviction, and I felt the sting of a Christian who was worldly, and I felt the betrayal of her, and that I felt very hopeless because I didn't have anybody in my life. I couldn't go and turn to family for rescue or for help. And this person I trusted and relied on, and she just was thinking of herself, and that's fine. But she didn't have my back at all, and I felt so hopeless and worthless. And turns out that what she did was she just triggered me, and it was evoking feelings that I hadn't yet addressed. But that hopelessness, yeah, and it comes when you're not focused on God. And healing takes a long time. When you try to do it on your own and try to use other people's methods without incorporating and consulting the Word of God. So the powers that be are taking the spiritual aspects of human life out of existence. Exactly. We were manipulated right from the start. Absolutely. Yes, we were. Yeah. So now that I'm back to, getting back on track with my healing and making a point to not be distracted by worldly people and just stay focused on God and focus on myself and allow myself to love myself and not seek love from other people, from outside sources. I will say that hopelessness, it doesn't, when you're focused on God, it's not even an issue. There's no reason for hopelessness when you're focused on God. So, yeah, I hope that helps answer your question. That's a good question. Very good question. I'm going to screenshot that and use that in a short if you don't mind, because that's a really good question. So, and let me just screenshot if you guys don't mind. I want to screenshot the question that William asked about Schopenhauer, and we'll do a short on that one too. There we go. You guys are having me do some homework tonight. Yeah, I love it. Thank you so much. That's good. So yeah, I'll do some shorts on that. So yeah, so well, it's just about 11:30. So do you guys, would you mind if we did some reading? We did some reading. All right. Ooh, we're in Luke. And my mind went to warnings and encouragements. Okay, we're going to read that. Okay. So if you guys want to follow along in your Bibles, or if you just want to listen, and then after we just read this short little chapter, we'll say goodnight. So if you guys don't want to watch or stay to the end, I just want to say thank you everyone for coming into this channel tonight. And it was just kind of a relaxing night tonight. And thanks for listening to me ramble. Thank you for your questions. And I hope I answered them. And if I didn't, you are always welcome to, say, hey, can we talk about this further? Or if you want, we can talk about it in email, shannongilmore@protonmail.com. So please meet us here at 1 o'clock in the afternoon and 10 o'clock in the evening every day for new videos, and hit the notification bell so you'll be alerted, and subscribe to this channel if you haven't done so already, and like this video. Thank you so much. Mwah. All right, so Luke chapter 12. Meanwhile, when a crowd of many thousands gathered so that they were trampling on one another, oh dear, Jesus began to speak first to his disciples, saying, "Be on your guard against the yeast of the Pharisees, which is hypocrisy. There is nothing concealed that will not be disclosed, or hidden that will not be made known. What you have said in the dark will be heard in the daylight, and what you have whispered in the ear in the inner rooms will be proclaimed from the roofs. I tell you, my friends, do not be afraid of those who kill the body and after that can do no more. But I will show you whom you should fear. Fear him who, after your body has been killed, has authority to throw you into hell. Yes, I tell you, fear him. Are not 5 sparrows sold for 2 pennies? Yet not one of them is forgotten by God. Indeed, the very hairs of your head are all numbered. Don't be afraid. You are worth more than many sparrows. I tell you, whoever publicly acknowledges me before others, the Son of Man will also acknowledge before the angels of God. But whoever disowns me before others will be disowned before the angels of God. And everyone who speaks a word against the Son of Man will be forgiven, but anyone who blasphemes against the Holy Spirit will not be forgiven. When you are brought before synagogues, rulers, and authorities, do not worry about how you will defend yourselves or what you will say, for the Holy Spirit will teach you at that time what you should say." Hey, Joe, that's okay. It's nice to see you. Someone in the crowd said to him, "Teacher, tell my brother to divide the inheritance with me." Jesus replied, "Man, who appointed me a judge or an arbiter between you?" Then he said to them, "Watch out, be on your guard against all kinds of greed. Life does not consist in an abundance of possessions." And he told them this parable. The ground of a certain rich man yielded an abundant harvest. He thought to himself, "What shall I do? I have no place to store my crops." Then he said, "This is what I'll do. I'll tear down my barns and build bigger ones, and there I will store my surplus grain. And I'll say to myself, you have plenty of grain laid up for many years. Take life easy, eat, drink, and be merry." But God said to him, "You fool, this very night your life will be demanded from you. Then who will get what you have prepared for yourself? This is how it will be with whomever stores up things for themselves, but is not rich towards God." So do you see what this man, his error? He should have just filled up the storehouses of what he had already. He didn't need to tear down his storehouses or his barns. He could have just filled up his barns, and then anything that he had left over, he could have given away and said, hey, I've got all this extra. I don't need it. So here, go share it with your neighbors, share it with the poor. But he didn't do that. So God says this, then Jesus said to his disciples, therefore I tell you, do not worry about your life, what you will eat or what you will wear. For life is more than food and the body more than clothes. Consider the ravens. They do not sow or reap. They have no storeroom or barn, yet God feeds them. And how much more valuable are you than birds? Who of you, by worrying, can add a single hour to your life? Since you cannot do this very little thing, why do you worry about the rest? Consider how the wild flowers grow. They do not labor or spin, yet I tell you, not even Solomon in all his splendor was dressed like one of these. If that is how God clothes the grass of the field, which is here today and tomorrow it is thrown into the fire, how much more will he clothe you, you of little faith? And do not set your heart on what you will eat or drink. Do not worry about it, for the pagan world runs after all these things. And your Father knows that you need them. But seek his kingdom, and these things will be given to you as well. Do not be afraid, little flock, for your Father has been pleased to give you the kingdom. Sell your possessions and give to the poor. Provide pure purses for yourselves that will not wear out, a treasure in heaven that will never fail, where no thief comes near and no moth destroys. For where your treasure is, there your heart will also be. So you guys understand that, of course. God isn't saying sell all you own and become poor. No, sell your possessions. What do you not use? What do you not need? Your possessions are like the man who tore down his barns and built bigger ones. Do you need 20 pairs of shoes? Do you need the Gucci purses? Do you need 25 cans of beans in your cupboard? And your neighbor is struggling. You see that they're struggling for food, and you've got all this food in your cupboards, and you've got food in your freezer that you probably have had in there for years and you've forgotten about. I mean, I know I've met people who hoard food and it just goes to waste, and it's awful. So yeah, God's not saying sell everything that you own, and he's sell your possessions and give to the poor. So what you don't need, what you're not using, sell and use that money and give that money to the poor. Give the poor food, give them something. Provide purses for yourselves that will not wear out. This is the same thing as seek ye first the kingdom. Love, unconditional love is your purse. If you unconditionally love yourself and you love your neighbor as yourself, you're going to give to yourself as you give to your neighbor. You're going to give to your neighbor as you give to yourself. Luke chapter 12, verse 35. Be dressed, ready for service, and keep your lamps burning, like servants waiting for their master to return from a wedding banquet. This is the parable of the virgins with their oil lamps. So that when he comes and knocks, they can immediately open the door for him. It will be good for those servants whose master finds them watching when he comes. Truly, I tell you, he will dress himself to serve. will have them recline at the table and will come and wait on them. It will be good for those servants whose master finds them ready, even if he comes in the middle of the night or towards daybreak. But understand this, if the owner of the house had known at which hour the thief was coming, he would not have let his house be broken into. You must also be ready, because the Son of Man will come at an hour when you do not expect him. So are we not uprooting the sin in our hearts, the trauma? And we are preparing a place in our hearts for Jesus to dwell there, to become our groomsman. Peter asked, Lord, are you telling this parable to us or to everyone? The Lord answered, who then is the faithful and wise manager, whom the master put in charge of his servants to give them their food allowance at the proper time? It will be good for that servant whom the master finds doing so when he returns. Truly, I tell you, he will put him in charge of his possessions. But suppose the servant says to himself, oh, my master is taking a long time in coming, and he then begins to beat the other servants, both men and women, and to eat and drink and get drunk. Sounds like the narcissist. The master of that servant will come on a day when he does not expect him and at an hour he is not aware of. He will cut him to pieces and assign him a place with the unbelievers. The servant who knows the master's will and does not get ready or does not do what the master wants will be beaten with many blows. And we consider that as discipline. But the one who does not know and does things deserving punishment will be beaten with few blows. For everyone who has been given much, much will be demanded, and from the one who has been entrusted with much, much more will be asked. I have come to bring fire on the earth, and how I wish it were already kindled. But I have a baptism to undergo, and that constraint I am under until it is completed. Do you think I came to bring peace on earth? No, I tell you, but division. From now on, there will be 5 in one family divided against each other, 3 against 2 and 2 against 3. They will be divided, father against son and son against father, mother against daughter and daughter against mother, mother-in-law against daughter-in-law and daughter-in-law against mother-in-law. He said to the crowd, when you see a cloud rising in the west, immediately you say, it's going to rain. And it does. And when the south wind blows, you say, it's going to be hot. And it is. Hypocrites! You know how to interpret the appearance of the earth and the sky. How is it that you do not know how to interpret this present time? Why don't you judge for yourselves what is right? As you are going with your adversary to the magistrate, try hard to be reconciled on the way, or your adversary may drag you off to the judge, and the judge turn you over to the officer, and the officer throws you into prison. I tell you, you will not get out until you have paid the last penny. And that's the end of that chapter. And God isn't just talking about money here. God is talking about what you emotionally owe to somebody. If you owe them that apology and make it up to them willfully and sincerely. Because when you pay the last penny, quote unquote, the last emotional penny, you are bridging the gap between trust and mistrust, and you are allowing forgiveness to come in. You can't expect to be forgiven by somebody if you don't make the effort to make amends yourself. So that would be the end of our Bible reading. So thank you everyone for joining. And Joe says, don't be concerned about one's sustenance. God will provide. I can testify that he has always provided for what I needed, not always what I wanted. Amen to that, Joe. I think of the birds of the field quite often. I find joy in sharing when I am able. Aw. It feels so good to have a fellowship like we do in this ministry. Aw, thank you, Jill. That's awesome. Yeah, money cannot buy happiness. Hello, nice to see you. It is so nice to see all of you, and that's our time for tonight. My name is Shannon Gilmore, and I am a peer support counselor and mentor, and I help you unpack your trauma, as I am also a trauma survivor, and we're learning and we're growing and healing through the word of the Lord, through psychology, and through scientific method, through quantum science. So if you like this video, please give it a like. If you can share it, please do so on your social media platforms. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe and hit the notification bell, because we are here 1 o'clock in the afternoon and 10 o'clock in the evening, twice a day, and each twice a day video is new. So thank you, and important links are also in the description of this video and in the chat. Thank you, Resistor, as Resistor is our moderator. And thank you so much for your help. And thank you, everyone, for getting involved in the chat and sharing and helping one another and showing that, you know, just showing the love. That does my heart proud. So thank you. Mwah. I love you, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Good night, and God bless you.